Hope so.
Okay, I'm gonna mark this as the beginning of the episode, unless anyone has any problematic shit to say.
Nope.
All right.
Can I tell my story about my friends?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hi. I've been wanting to talk to y'all about this. So I'm going to call them Sally and Joanne because they said I could tell the whole story. I just didn't want to say their names. I told them I wasn't going to say their names.
Okay.
But Sally and Joanne live also in Gentilly, like all the way, like a mile and a half from me. And I jogged Sally the other day, saw my Instagram story that I was near them, and she was like, "Oh, come say hello, sit on the sidewalk." So like I sat on the sidewalk and talked to her for like 30 minutes while she was in her house. And so I guess that's why she thought of me later. Also, I'm like a neighborhood friend. So anyway, while I was sitting there, Sally and Joanne got a package. They got a 500 milligram edible, which is a lot. And Sally just started smoking weed for the first time a year ago. And she eats edibles like occasionally, but not a lot, not a pothead at all.
Right.
And Joanne also likes weed, but like not a huge pothead. They don't really know what 500 milligrams means. So I saw it and it looked like cereal. So I was like, oh, that must be each thing of cereal is 5 milligrams and there's 100 of them. Right. That's what I thought it was. And I asked that and she was confused. She was like, no, it's like a big Rice Krispie thing. And I was like, that's a really strong edible. And I was hoping that they would have taken that to heart, but I should have given them more specifics because I got a call 4 hours later. And the first call was really funny. This is when I tweeted. The first call was hysterical because Sally was like, Mary, we need to call 911. And I was like, no, don't call 911 right now. But they were both laughing. And they were like, we broke it up into 6, but I think we're too high. I was like, a 6 is 80 milligrams. And like a strong edible is like, it's actually more than 80 milligrams. And give or take like 10, depending on, where the THC is and whatever. But like, it's a lot. They ate too much. And Sally was straight up overdosing. Joanne was just useless. Like she just couldn't talk. And so I go, anyway, so basically I'm laughing. I tell them they're going to be fine. Like you can't die from a weed overdose. And then I get another call 10 minutes later that's like, Sally's crying. She's projectile vomiting. Her heart rate is the heart rate of a person who's jogging like a brisk mile. You know what I mean? Like, because they have heart rate monitors. So her heart is like off the charts. And she's like, I think I'm having a heart attack. And Joanne's like, I don't know what to tell her because she doesn't believe me because I'm so high. And so I was like, okay, I was like, Neil Young says to chew peppercorn. Do y'all have any peppercorn? And they were like, no, we don't have any peppercorn. So I was like, okay, I'll bring y'all some peppercorn.
That shit works.
And then, so I gave it to her and she immediately threw up again. Anyway, she's still high, y'all.
right now?
She's high right now. And she took it at 9 p.m. last night.
Whenever you're listening to this, she's still high.
She's still high. Like she was so high and like it even went up and down. Okay, also she had the worst morning to be like stoned off of her ass. And like when I say stoned, I mean I've been this high before. It doesn't even feel like you're high. You know what I mean? Like you just feel physically unwell.
Right.
And it was making her heart race so fast that it was like the opposite of being high. It was like being on too much speed. Like so anyway, if you're out there and if you're thinking about eating edibles for the first time, make sure you take like 5 or 10 milligrams. That's gonna be good for the first time.
Jesus Christ. I'm like looking at, I know the half-life of THC is like around 4 hours. So I'm just like, at what point in time will she have like a pleasant dose in her bloodstream? And it's like, about now.
I mean, it's just, right about now she might feel okay. Also, she was dealing with a bunch of family drama. She lives in a compound and her brother was like having some issues this morning that she was tasked with helping with. And so that was a lot. So,
You're
anyway.
friends with someone who lives in a compound? What do you mean?
It's her family's compound.
What does that
Her
mean?
family owns like a large amount of, they're not like rich. It's like her dad's kind of like a hoarder actually, but it has like 17 broken down cars on it.
Right.
But
Is it like
yeah,
fortified? I feel like compounds are like when I think compound,
You think like Osama
I'm
bin
picturing.
Laden's Pakistan
no,
situation?
it's just three. It's basically like three ranch houses, and their kids rent from them and live behind them, and they live in the front.
I guess if you have
And they
enough
have,
truck nuts, you can call anything a compound.
I mean, they're not like that. They're just like, I don't know. But yeah, it's a compound in that multiple people live like on the same property in different properties.
I want to like live in a compound also. Like I
Yeah.
think I've talked about this before, but like the idea of like raising kids in like a nuclear family context sounds like a living hell to me. It sounds like really lonely and shitty. But
Hmm.
like 9 friend couples all living in a compound or whatever and like taking care
I
of
Yeah.
each
think you
other's
know.
kids
I
and
think you know how I feel about this.
fucking everybody. What? How do you feel about it? What up?
Yeah.
Hi,
Sorry.
Chris.
How do you
When you
feel
say
He
about
what
it?
can
up,
hear us.
no, he can't hear because it's just coming through the
Yeah, but
headphones.
that's how much I love both.
He loves both of
Love
you.
you too.
I can hear him.
Yeah. Also, Michael, shout out to you for being like, you definitely have to wear headphones, but I'm still gonna eat cup of noodles.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear it, but I can see it, and
Oh yeah.
it watching someone like try and go off screen to eat cup of noodles looks like that scene in Old Boy when she eats the squid or the octopus or whatever the fuck it is.
I have never seen Old Boy.
Or yeah.
You'll get used to it. You'll get used
What
to
did
it.
everyone do this weekend?
You go first.
Um, well, I mean, yesterday was very weed emergency related. That was just my night. And then I've just been running around all day taking pictures of houses
That's so
and
weird.
flowers.
Like it's not that it's a weird thing to do. Fuss like
It's
not
just
fussy, but
very
like
soothing to me to be like, this is, or just, it just so happens to be houses because I'm jogging in a residential neighborhood, but
right.
just like pretty things I see. I don't know. There's just something about houses where it's like, when you're actually like stopping and looking at the other people's gardens and their houses and thinking about like the choices that they made,
Mhm.
like it feels very intimate. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
maybe that's why people think it's weird when they catch me doing it.
My dad
Um,
worked in insurance, and part of his job was driving to people's houses, like in like a several 100-mile radius, and taking pictures of shit when
Mhm.
they like and like they every single time he would tell them that they were coming, and they would forget and not like that he was taking a picture of their fucking house and like threatened to shoot him and shit. It's pretty
Oh
funny.
man. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know. Some people have enjoyed it. They were just like, "What do you like? What are you taking a picture of?" And then one guy thought I was trying to buy his house, and he was very disappointed. Um, there was no for sale sign.
I mean, now's a great time to
but
buy some guy's house.
yeah. He like popped out of a car in the driveway. Again, I've also been eating weed all day. I'm not
Mhm.
high now. I ate weed earlier. But yeah. So I've been stoned walking around Lakeview in a Bernie Sanders shirt most days,
Dude.
which
Oh,
is not nice. Oh, it's Bernie getting arrested.
I'm wearing my Bernie getting arrested shirt right now. What did you do this weekend, Benjamin?
I have no concept of weekends or weekdays. Time has become death, and there is but the one moment.
Right.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, I still have weekends and weekdays.
Yeah, I guess some people still have like schedules, but it just seems like I don't. I mean, I guess I'll be back to like doing more like regular DSA meetings. I was like kind of out of them for like a few days, and since then it's everything is completely like run together. But it's been good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I'm feeling better. I know we never aired last week's podcast, but I no longer am thinking about buying a gun.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I legit have been looking at guns.
Oh my god, dude. This is like a gift to the Magi. Sorry, I'm burping cup noodles. I haven't been looking at guns since last week either. I think I was looking at guns while we were recording last week, but
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, the remote episodes, because we all, none of us have any stories, except for your one good story, because we don't do anything. It's like work
I
and
might
TV.
have some more stories,
Yeah.
but they're only funny to me. As soon as I say them, I'm like, no, that was just a really cool day for me. That's not a sharer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I'm sure you guys have seen this. It's been up for a while, but at Crescent Park, it's like, it's like close to the old naval base, and there's still two ships or whatever, two giant like battleship looking things, and like on the gate it says like current threat level, and someone put a poster over so it's like you could see the words current threat level, but like it covers everything under that, and it's just 3 bananas and then an outline of a banana, so it's like 3 out of 4 bananas is the current threat level. I have a picture of it. I'll text it to the group chat right now.
That's very, very funny.
But it's good shit.
When I used
3
to
out of
live,
4 bananas.
when I used to live in that neighborhood, that sign just was tagged underneath by someone whose tag was just their name, I assume, or maybe it was someone else's name. But it just said for like a year and a half, threat level Omar.
That actually sounds like something that the Bush administration would have actually named a threat level.
This looks really
Omar.
good.
Yeah. What's that?
I like the bananas. They look really good.
Yeah. I'm taking photos too, dude. I'm just taking pictures of people's houses like a fucking weirdo.
And also sidewalk art. I don't know, anything interesting. I've also been seeing, God, people really, it is kind of scary to walk around the bayou, because like, I know I myself am walking around. And like when I see people, I stop and talk far away. But like people are still getting crawfish and sharing it. They're just using gloves, which is so stupid.
Nice.
It just makes no fucking sense. I'm like, and I mean, it's one thing if you're out there with someone you're already quarantined with, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like, these were like groups of families that were together. And I'm like, they're just like your hands. Like you're using one pair of gloves and getting all the fucking germs and putting them in your mouth and then putting them back in there. You fucking idiots. Like, how are people so fucking stupid?
Yeah.
I just don't get it, why people think that they're just like their hands. I don't know, whatever. It just annoys me. Like even in food service, like when we're doing, like the rule is like we have to change the gloves every time we change stations. Mm-hmm. But like, that's so stupid, because within multiple stations, they get so, I guess it's just like to mitigate, like you can't always have clean gloves. So you're ostensibly like you're moving around a lot. And if you're changing 8 to 20 times, like then you're going to have less dirty gloves than if you don't fucking change your gloves. Yeah. But like, I just think about everything I touch now and I'm just like, well, I just touched that surface. I need a new pair of gloves. Like, I don't know. It's very stressful. Thinking about like, my main thing right now is being paranoid about sanitizing stuff, especially because I am like, I don't know. Jeff went to the store today, so we don't have to go to the store for a while. We're trying to go to the store once a week, and only one of us goes.
Yeah, we're doing something similar.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm stressed about sanitizing stuff because I'm thinking about how impossible it is and how like just one little thing. I also saw this Twitter thread that was like, this guy that had it, and he was talking about how painful it was. He had no underlying conditions. He was in his 30s. He was like, I'm not in the hospital, but there were days where I couldn't breathe, blah, blah, blah. It's the most painful thing ever, yada, yada. It's so sad. And then he was like, he said this thing, which I get why he would say this, because he's trying to do public good, but it is very stressful. He was like, just one little misstep and you can get it. And it's like, yeah, we all fucking know that. But you reiterating that makes me so paranoid.
Yeah.
I think last week I was afraid of this collapse of society, and this week I'm just afraid of getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. I really don't think I think that every single young person who is an outlier is getting covered by the media, but like they are few and far between, and a lot of them will probably turn out to have pre-existing conditions. But
the people who are tweeting their own experiences, who are going to survive, who are not going to be hospitalized, who recognize that they're lucky, they're still like, just because I'm going to survive and didn't have to be on a ventilator, it's the most painful thing in the world. Like even people that I personally know, like I know someone, Carolyn Schofield, who's a Twitter person, who had it, and she was like, it fucking sucks. It was like, it's been 7 weeks of her life. Like it didn't go away. Yeah. It hurt I mean, she doesn't smoke, and it felt like knives to breathe. Like, I'm not necessarily, knock on wood, worried about dying. I just don't want to go through that.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, like, I guess like the fear that I have is just from like noticing that like there is no centralized response. So this is all on people's like best instinct. Like I haven't been anywhere in public aside from like walks and like runs, which I honestly feel like I don't know if I like want to keep going on runs considering like how like potentially airborne this kind of is. They're finding out that it like it does live in the air.
It lives in the air for a while. Yeah.
And if you're like, you know, like breathing heavily, like odds are I don't have it, but like that we should all be operating under the assumption that we don't have it. I'm doing that. I've done the last place I was your house like 2 weeks ago.
Damn, that's nuts.
And like,
how are you getting groceries?
I just got groceries. I got enough before then. I've been like, you know, eating pretty like modestly, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I have like a ton of like rice and oats and like pasta and like frozen bread and canned food and shit like that. Like there just should be a mandatory quarantine for the whole country for like 5 fucking weeks so we could take care of this.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean, I agree.
Like I hate to be, you know, like give the state too much power, but like fuck, like it would go away. And if that doesn't happen, this is going to be like a year. You just can't rely on people.
I'm more optimistic now. Like I know it's gonna be, it's not gonna be like in a couple weeks everything's fine. But Louisiana, like the numbers are, again, like knock on wood, they.
Oh, you just cut out.
Hopefully. Oh. Okay,
right.
am I back?
Yeah. Knock on wood.
It says my connection's unstable. Can you hear me though?
Yes.
Okay. So it's the numbers were going like this with new cases, and then yesterday there was 200 new cases. And so if like it keeps being like less and less and like fewer and fewer new cases, then it might actually be something. I mean, the hospitals are still overwhelmed. It's still awful, but they won't be more overwhelmed than they currently are. You know what I'm saying? Like it won't. We won't necessarily be like Italy, and then we can like it might not be a fucking 18 months or a year. You know.
Right.
I don't know. If I just felt good seeing that today because I felt like maybe enough people are like just the sheer virtue of like so many businesses being closed. Like even though we're not a full quarantine, like I think that the number of people out spreading it has reduced, and we've been inside at such greater numbers for so long that it makes sense that like whatever. I don't know. I felt a little bit optimistic, but mostly because I need to, so I don't go crazy.
Yeah.
Like I also thought I had it yesterday and was like having, you know, a bit of an anxiety issue, and then the symptoms of anxiety are like the same.
Right.
So it's hard.
Yeah. It seems like if, you know, if that trend continues in the places where it's bad, which I hope it does continue, like that should not mean any sort of like loosening on any like regulations. It should only be tightened because like
no, because that's the idea is they're saying that like you still quarantine for weeks and weeks, months after that, but like it wouldn't be like we would be able to go to school in August. You know what I mean?
Right. I just don't see. I mean, unless there's like more of a response, like people from places that are like the current epicenters of it right now are gonna start like getting on airplanes and shit again, and then it's just gonna go all over, and it's gonna be like whack-a-mole with fucking, you know, the goddamn Rona. Like,
well, I mean, honestly, like, yeah. I mean, basically, it seems like it's gonna just hit places one by one. I mean, like Wuhan's already like doing good, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, because they reached a level of herd immunity, and like the virus is kind of dying out over there, and it's just gonna. I think it's gonna do that. Like I don't think there's gonna be like one worldwide sudden spike. It's gonna be community by community, and eventually, like enough of us will have had it that it won't be able to spread, and
If
And it'll come in seasons because it'll mutate, and then it'll be another. I mean, it'll just be like worst flu season for the rest of our lives, maybe.
maybe.
And some businesses will never recover. We might not have gyms anymore.
Yeah.
The people that I know that own a gym are like very prepped to never have one.
Dude, Zoom fucking rescinded their free 40-minute thing apparently.
Why?
To fucking trick people. I don't know. To get people to rely on it and then to make them and then charge them.
Did you pay for? Are we gonna get kicked off? We have to do 2 meetings.
Yeah, we'll get kicked off. I mean, it'll be like a smoke break. Yeah, we'll get kicked
Okay.
off in 10 minutes. But
Okay, and then we'll just do a new meeting and start again.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
that's chill though.
But yeah, I mean, I just think that like it's okay if it's community by community as long as each community flattens the curve enough that their hospital systems aren't overwhelmed. And like I think we are only now going to start seeing within the next couple of days if what we're doing is working, and I think it is. Like when did non-essential businesses shut down? How long ago was that? Feels like a year ago, but I'm sure it was like 5 days.
A week,
Like a
2
week ago.
weeks.
No, like a week.
About a week ago. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be. I think that we will have a ventilator shortage in New Orleans, but I think it'll be kind of brief.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading something that is terrifying, and it's terrifying that we're asking these questions. That like the current. Did y'all see this article of like from the perspective of a young disabled person who relies either she relies on a ventilator to live or someone that she knows does, and saying that like the current like bioethicist stance, I guess I don't know if it's like national or hospital by hospital, is that in the instance, obviously, like if you're older, like in the instance of a ventilator shortage, the more life you've had, the less valuable your life is. And frankly, I think if we're making these horrible decisions, that is like kind of a fair barometer, because age is something that like everyone gets old. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's no discriminatory. Yeah, it's like whatever. I mean, I hate it, but whatever. But for young disabled people, the idea is that if they need a ventilator, even if they could very well survive with a ventilator, they're going to need it for twice as long as someone who doesn't need a ventilator, who's their same age or younger. So they kick them off to save more lives, which is eugenics. But also, if you don't do it that way, more people die. And it's a fucking hard debate. Like, it's not an easy one. I understand. I guess I'm on the side of like, if you have more lives saved and kill all the disabled people, that's eugenics. So I guess you don't want to do it that way. But I also understand why it's not just some asshole, like it's Nazi shit, but it's also like, I get why it's a question, like, cause you're killing more people. I mean, it's
the trolley problem. It's less Nazi. It's like ancillary eugenics. Like, I mean, my understanding is that they're doing it based on likelihood to survive.
Right, which is like disabled people are going to be less likely to survive even if they're very young. Well,
sure, but like the people who rely on a ventilator right now, it's not like they like also have coronavirus. I think it's just like coronavirus cases. I don't think they're going to take someone who's otherwise fine and take their ventilator away to try and save a coronavirus person.
They should do it.
If someone is,
they should do it with like
I'm
less
telling you,
security tests.
No, but I'm telling you, I really think that the policy is that if two people, I don't know if maybe I'm misunderstanding you, that if two people, like if a young person that has coronavirus and needs a ventilator to survive and would be just as well, I guess then they wouldn't be just as likely. I don't know. I still think that if you have a population that ends up eliminating all the disabled people, it's similar to eugenics.
I don't think that
they should do it based
there
on
are lots of
specifically my ideology.
Yeah.
And how closely you align with it. I think that's the fairest way to do
If
it.
you voted for Bernie
that's
Sanders, you
another
get
good
all the
idea.
ventilators you need.
Well, no one's voted for Bernie Sanders in Louisiana yet, so.
Well, but I got a
I have.
T-shirt, so yeah.
I mean, I did in 2016.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, it's like, I mean, it's not like you're killing all disabled people. It's like you're killing, or you're letting die, like, people who are likely to die on the rest. Like, if people who A, contracted coronavirus, B, seem like they're more likely to die than another person who needs a ventilator. Like, it's like,
well, I mean, I think that, okay, so they already say this is not in cases where it's deemed medically futile. So, like, if it's medically futile, you don't get a fucking ventilator.
Mhm.
Like, if there's not a good chance that you'll survive, disabled or not, this is comparing people who have a good survival rate but would need to be on the ventilator longer.
right.
It's a very specific
Oh, okay.
comparison. So, like, yes, they're less likely. So this is people that, like, have a good chance of survival, but because they have a pre-existing respiratory issues that will cause them to likely be on the ventilator longer than a able-bodied person. Like, you see what I'm saying? Now, if it was someone who did not have a good chance, I don't think anyone's arguing that that person should receive a ventilator. So this is like a person who would have a very good chance of survival.
Well, I mean, this is a level of shortage that, like, my understanding is that we should be able to avoid the situation where two reasonably healthy people are competing for the same ventilator. I mean, I think it's just like, because I mean, right now the policy, like pre-coronavirus, the policy is like try and keep people alive as long as possible, no matter what. Even if they're 99% chance going to die, you still intubate them just in case, right?
Right.
So I think that will happen less. But I
Yeah,
mean, there's
think,
no right answer. It's like, I mean, these are philosophical problems that have persisted for so long unsolved that, like, there are memes about them. You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, of course, Twitter is like a horrible place where, I mean, I respect the person for writing this article, but it was like making me feel. It definitely made me question, like, if I were a doctor in that very specific situation, and there will be one doctor in the United States who has that specific situation, probably. I mean, I don't think it's super likely. I think that, like, probably, hopefully, most, like, I mean, most young disabled people will be, like, spared because it's so horrible to imagine this situation. But, if they aren't, someone will have to make that decision, and it stresses me out because I don't know what the right answer is. But I mean, I am inclined to say it is just not think about how long someone's going to be on a ventilator if they have a good chance of survival. It's more of like a first come, first serve kind of thing, but I don't know.
Can you imagine how fucked we would be if Eddie Raspone had won the governorship?
I keep saying that. If he was governor right now, it would be so much worse.
We would be all dead. I mean, it's so lucky that we have a fucking governor right now, even if he's this fucking snake.
Had the numbers that we have with the governor they have, like, they'd be fucked. Yeah,
they'd be so fucked. The governor of Mississippi is such a fucking idiot. Oh my god, he opened up businesses again.
Hold that thought. We're about to get kicked off. I wonder if it's gonna let me make another meeting. All right, I think that our. You know how we've like tried a couple times to be like, oh, like let's do some preparation for the podcast and like figure out what we're going to talk about. I think we are going to have to do that now.
Well, we should talk about how Donald Trump is not sending supplies to governors that he doesn't like.
Wait, is that true?
Oh yeah. Listen to this shit. Okay. So I already knew this, but I just retweeted because I didn't know how much Louisiana had gotten. So someone was like, amount of medical supplies the feds have shipped to various states relative to amount requested. Massachusetts, 17%, Maine, 5%, New York, 2%, and Florida, 200%. And then a local person, Jane Patton, tweeted, Louisiana got 1.6%. We may vote reliably red for the president, but we also have a Dem governor and the second largest proportion of black people in the U.S. So you tell me what's going on here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's using spite to choose who lives or dies, like in a way that's like, always happens to like a certain extent and a certain
But
calculus.
he's doing it openly.
It openly and immediately in a way. I mean, he's even like saying it in press conferences, like, well, these governors shouldn't criticize the administration if they want any fucking aid.
That's
why John Bell Edwards has been trying to be nice and be like, I think the president's doing an okay job. You know what I mean? He's clearly doing a terrible job, but John Bell Edwards was trying. But like, it doesn't matter if you. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that there like a while ago, a ventilator company was like, "Hey, we're making more ventilators, but we want the government to distribute them, so we don't have to make the decision of who to send them to or whatever." And and they refused, and thank God they fucking refused, because otherwise it would be the ventilator distribution would work on the same system.
Yeah.
Good God.
I mean, fuck. I was about to say something, but oh yeah, like I mean, y'all know me and how I feel about fucking like liberals and like Democrats and all that shit. This is the first time since Donald Trump has been elected that I've even for a second thought that like Hillary Clinton could have, like done a better job.
Right.
I don't think she would have done anything different about the kids in cages or Iran or whatever the fuck people are pissed about.
Right.
Like, she wouldn't have. She would have been as horrific as Trump.
I think so.
And, like, everything about the Democratic Party's, like, response to all of this has shown that. But, like, the opportunism here, like, not just for capital, but also for like petty gains, is like unprecedented.
Yeah.
And
Hillary would have done a better job.
Yeah.
And just like the danger of the president murdering states that he doesn't like, who have a lot of black people, or a lot of people that don't like him, is awful. But also him being like, this is not, God, my hands are so big. But him being like, jazz hands. But him continuously saying Easter, like he's, oh God, also connecting it to Easter, like the resurrection.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks that he's the fucking Messiah.
Right.
Like, but anyway, like saying that is causing people, and I'm witnessing it, like maybe I shouldn't be leaving my house at all, whatever. But like I do walk around and I do see people that have Punisher stickers on their car when I run 6 feet away from them when I'm running, like roll their eyes at me. You know what I mean? Because they're just like, this is not a big deal. And I really feel bad for them because I've always, not always, like I think in 2016, I definitely probably liked a few tweets that are just like, the Trump supporters are getting what they deserve. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like I've completely like switch from that view, but also I legitimately feel compassion because it will hurt them so much more and they'll feel so much more betrayed because they're just like, they believed him and like this is so serious. I don't know.
I don't know if they're gonna, I don't know.
They'll probably come up with a reason it's the liberals' fault.
Exactly.
I mean, you're right. But like, and I think one day, I don't really care that they'll feel betrayed, but like they are being betrayed.
Right.
And it's really sad and it's horrible that he's killing his, like, even, I mean, it's just as horrible that he's killing his non-supporters, but like, it just shows how just brutal. I mean, it's just so brutal.
I will say as a silver lining that like a lot of my family is very Catholic and like they're all single issue pro-life voters. And I think this is going to put an end to that practice for them. Like,
I've seen a lot of pro-life voters being like, this is not pro-life. Like, this is like, they were like, this is a,
Well, I mean, that's one thing, but not even having to frame it in the context of pro-life. Just like being a single issue voter in general is premised upon a fantasy that like everything will probably be more or less the same. And like, and that like there's a bare minimum level of competence in the federal government that like, so they were like, like all of them, they were like, I fucking hate Trump. I think he's a fucking asshole. But I like all I care about is the Supreme Court and like blah 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 Roe v. Wade. And like, I don't think they're going to be able to do it anymore after this. If any of them fucking survive,
Yeah, I agree. Man, that's hard. Also, I think people who are single issue, like, I mean, I think it's so sad that some people have become single issue Democrat voters where it's just like Supreme Court, Supreme Court, Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that is the only consideration like right now that is a differentiation between Biden and Trump to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think that some of them are gonna, like, the rape allegations are hopefully going to change some people's perspective on that and realize that, like, you can't be so myopic and, like, the future of the world is at stake, not just the future of the next 4 or 20 years. Like, we can have, Roe v. Wade might get, I mean, I am the most pro-abortion person in the world, and I think that if the states if states can choose whether or not they're going to provide abortions to their citizens, people will die from back alley abortions.
Yeah, for sure.
People will suffer. It'll be horrible. I'm not saying it won't, but the planet will die if we don't get the fuck out of this. Like,
yeah. I don't think that the rape allegations are, not only are they not sticking, they never landed in the first place. Like, I know people who watch, like, boomers who watch MSNBC and CNN constantly. When like I or their kid told them about the allegations, they had not heard about it. Like, it hasn't gotten an iota of coverage in, like, Boomerland.
Nothing, dude. Yeah. So one of the only. So this is generous to say that Yahoo News is a major news outlet, but it's one of the only outlets that like did cover the Tara Reid Alexander, like, allegations, and they within 12 hours moved, like, it became a dead link, and then after it was a dead link for about an hour and a half and people were pointing it out, they moved it to Yahoo Sports.
And then they moved it to Lifestyle.
Yes.
Jesus.
So what a lifestyle. Oh man. Yeah, The Guardian, but that's not a US news outlet, but they covered it, right? Or was it the Independent? What was it?
The Guardian has The Guardian US, which is the shittiest version of The Guardian, even though, like, all of it kind of sucks. But, like the British Guardian is still, like, their news is a little bit better than their, like, editorial shit. But yeah, they covered it. It's not something that's going to be covered unless we make enough fuss about it, and I do feel, like, kind of disappointed by like the defeatism on the left to talk about it, like, not just because it is legitimately a political opportunity, which it could be, and, like, whether or not you believe that it could be shouldn't matter, because, like, we should have the fucking principles to, like, make noise about this. And I feel like there are a lot of people who are like, MSNBC and CNN are too strong. We're never going to get through about this. It doesn't matter. Like, there's no political utility to, like, making noise about this story. And it's like, I hope not. That might be true, but, like, fuck it. He's a fucking rapist, and, like, we can't let this slip now and then try and make noise on it later and then have no credibility about it. Like, we should freak the fuck out about it, because the story is horrific. It's, like, truly horrific. It's like a senator in a position of power raping a young woman violently in his fucking office and then verbally degrading her, and, like, running for president, and then all of his supporters, like, running a smear campaign against that person. It doesn't get worse than that.
And she also was, and people are pointing to the fact that she was still pro-Biden as something to discredit her after that, because she did tweet in support of him. But if anything, that it is in line with my own experiences with people who have been victims of sexual abuse and statistics about sexual abuse survivors, and the reason that she had such trouble, like, coming forward with the entire story. Like, she came forward after Lucy Flores did and wanted to share her story about being inappropriately touched, but didn't give the entire story, and she then tried to give the whole story to Time's Up later. And I think it was because she was going through like coming to terms with what had happened to her because she had been betrayed by someone that she trusted and looked up to. She viewed him as like a mentor, and she like does share his political vision. So it was something that it makes perfect sense why she had trouble being like getting the courage to speak on it, and then the second that she did, she was defeated by fucking Time's Up, fucking whatever. Fuck Time's Up and fuck the fucking Me Too movement, frankly, because it's a stupid, like, okay, I'm so glad that so many people have been able to share their stories, but the Me Too movement, and I'm not coming from like a bullshit Red Scare, like, oh, women should just get raped and it's fine perspective. Like, it was a capitalist, like, it was a capitalist pro-woman movement that is very, like, they never, for instance, the Time's Up movement, if you ask anyone who is, or the Me Too movement, if you ask anyone who like hashtag Me Too, whatever, like is, you know, super into that, I feel like most of those people are the people where if you talk about Bill Clinton raping people, they don't believe that he did that. Like Bill Clinton didn't just cheat on his wife, he raped people. It's just, but it's so funny how like that never, it didn't matter to people. It doesn't matter when Bill Clinton rapes people. It doesn't matter when Joe Biden tries to belittle rape victims before we even knew he was a rapist. None of those things matter. They're still good. It was a movement for people who were raped by the right people. And it's just so fucked up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like amazing how like the Believe Women thing has evaporated like completely overnight. Like, yeah. I mean, the analogy of like Russiagate is QAnon for libs is like extremely accurate in that it creates a narrative that can accommodate anything, right? Like, and
100%.
It can accommodate everything, and it's completely unfalsifiable. Like whatever narrative you come up with is unfalsifiable, and so like,
dude, yeah. Oh, it like I hadn't even considered that because it's so like even trying to engage with that like melts my brain to a certain extent. But like the fact that like she came forward and then was called like a Russian, you know, asset immediately, and now they're just doubling down even harder on that. Like, I can't comprehend. Like, it makes me wonder if like some of these like surrogates for like strong DNC candidates or whatever, like truly are like trained
lizard
intelligence assets or not, because like I can't get how a person could say that kind of shit out loud.
What kind of shit? The Russiagate stuff?
Like
the Russian
that Tara Reid Alexander is a fucking Russian agent.
Right.
Like there are like so many like blue check like morons on Twitter, like really like putting that out there. And I'm like, can you believe that in your heart? Like, are you really putting that out? Or like, I know this is like crazy paranoid thinking, but like, or did someone train you to have this response?
I mean, I think
also how can you honestly say Joe Biden doesn't seem like a fucking rapist? Like,
I mean,
he does. It's the second. I did listen to the account, and it was like very awful, and it was disgusting. But also, like as soon as I saw the allegation, I was like, "Yep, that checks." And I have not even been. I don't know. Like, I don't understand why people don't assume that powerful, creepy men are rapists. It's like, no, he just sniffs women. It's like, if he sniffs women, he's raping women. Good God. Do you know any normal men that sniff women? Like, sniff strangers in press conferences?
I sniff strangers, but I ask permission first.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he seems like a rapist.
Yeah.
It reads very true. Like, it's very believable. There have been some people where I didn't want to believe it when I found out.
Right.
Like, but, and I do believe it, but it's like, it's hard. This is so easy. It's so easy to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there for you. I mean, the Anita Hill thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, that alone should be disqualified.
Yeah, totally.
For all this stuff of like, you know, Black Twitter don't be having no Bernie fucking shit. It's like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like, this candidate, like, abused a black woman trying to come forward about, I don't know.
Yeah. There's so many things that like are like single issue should have just disqualified this person, and it's just, yeah. I mean, not just voting for the Iraq War, but like being one of the architects of the Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Dude was head of the Foreign Relations fucking Council for like 5 years beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Like he knew all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I gotta let Chris in.
Okay. Did you see that he said that Biden said he wasn't going to participate in the next debate?
Oh, I did not see that.
Now you can hear them.
Oh, sweet. How y'all doing?
Hello.
Hey, Chris.
What's cracking?
You still playing with your hair?
Yeah, it's wet.
Oh,
He
all
can't
right.
hear me.
Good, dude. It's looking good.
He can't hear you,
What
actually.
are y'all talking about?
Oh, he can hear me.
Yeah.
I can hear
Joe
you.
Biden.
Talking about Joe Biden as usual.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about him?
I'm not going to get into this. We're roommates. I'm not...
Oh, you're voting?
No, not voting, period. I'm voting. We're going to vote. It's going to be great. You guys figure it out.
Who are you voting for?
What do you mean?
On record.
Oh, come on, man. Fuck off.
He's voting for Tulsi for sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Damn, Chris
He's a
Lane.
Bernie boy. He's a Bernie boy. He's just a little bashful.
He better be.
I was talking.
He's a bashful burlesque host.
I was telling MD that Biden a little while ago said he wasn't going to participate in the next debate because, quote, we've had enough debates.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's just like
It's basically him just going like, the jig is up. We're done.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Okay, speaking of my hair, do y'all think I should get a hipster mullet?
Yes, absolutely. That picture looked great.
Laviano, what's your vote?
I love your hair as it is, and I'm going to vote no. But I think that
Okay.
it will always grow back. But you have the best hair that I've ever seen in my life, and
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
it just
I'm a white person. Black people definitely have better hair than I do, but for a white person, I do have very, very good hair.
yeah. But also, it'll grow back if whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I would still have big hair. It would just be like curly bangs and then like thinned out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like not like a total, like a professionally done-ish hipster mullet.
Send
not like
send me
total
a picture of
fake
the
crust puff.
the type of mullet you are considering.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
But all right, I have one locked and loaded.
Yeah,
Of course you do.
Did you not see the one?
My hair, I woke up and my hair looked like a hipster mullet, and I put it on Instagram, and I got polarizing reactions.
Mhm.
Most men were like, "Yes, absolutely,"
Yeah.
because it was like I was like a good picture.
Yeah.
And then 30% of women said yes, and the rest of the 70% of women were like, "Absolutely not," because aesthetically, it's like not as good, I guess. I don't know. Wait, let me see. So I found a lady who's actually a mom at my school who cuts. So it would be like this. Kind of, but like bigger because my hair is bigger. But like that's the kind of zone. I sent it to the group chat.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just gonna narrate it. Let's see. Oh, I'm still looking at. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it would be just like curly bangs. It's kind of like Brittany Hunt's hair,
That's not a
but
mullet.
like curlier. It's like the quote unquote hipster mullet.
I like it.
Like-
I think you should do it.
Thank you. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean after quarantine, so in 8 months or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of the bangs option for like a curly haired lady
Mhm.
too.
Exactly. You can't have like short bangs. You have to have bangs that start like back here,
Mhm.
or you'll look like shit, and you'll just have like a weird turf bangs but curly.
Yeah.
That would be
Horrible. I've done that before to myself.
You've given yourself
It
turf
was so
bangs?
bad.
Yeah.
When I looked like George Washington, but with turf bangs, when I cut my own hair when I was 23, it was so bad. I looked like a founding father and Ronald McDonald at the same time.
Yeah. I still think that turf bangs
I
look
can
good.
never tell the truth.
I cannot tell the truth. Yeah.
Are y'all getting shredded? Are y'all working out a lot?
I am, yeah.
I'm getting absolutely ripped. I'm like stronger than I've ever been.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm stronger yet, but like I am already working out way more and I am loving that.
Yeah.
Not just the running, but like the home workouts.
I hurt myself immediately after getting my dumbbells or whatever, but I just healed up like 2 days
How did you
ago.
hurt yourself?
Well, I
them to my penis. And...
I kept them on the floor, and so I had to pick them up off the floor a lot. And they're like 50 pounds a piece, and it's been so long since I've worked out that like I don't have the ingrained habit of bend your fucking knees, and so I was just like being really lazy picking them up and just bending over at the waist like a fucking idiot. So but now I'm back.
Is your back fucked up?
Yeah, I did fuck it up. Yeah, my lower back was all fucked up.
But it's fine now.
Yep. And I worked out yesterday. One thing that's amazing about working out at home is that you can really spread the workout through the entire day, and it's like you didn't work out at all, but you did. Like I did my pull-ups at the park, which is probably not good, not like particularly sanitary, but I was careful. There's like a body weight fitness part of the children's playground, which is closed. And so I did my pull-ups at the park, and I'm gonna do some rows after this, and like I'm gonna work out while I listen to while I edit the podcast. That's my plan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've been doing the gyms. The gym's been sending us the online workouts and doing Zoom workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom workouts are really, really fun. I don't know. And yeah, I definitely feel like I'll be able to do a decent number of non-girly push-ups after this.
Yeah. Girly push-ups, I was surprised that girly push-ups actually are not that much less weight. Like, I think it's like a regular push-up is...
No, they're still hard.
Yeah. I think a regular push-up is like 70% of your body weight, and a girly push-up is like, I don't know, like 50-something.
I can do like 10 regular push-ups, but I still do the girly ones because for most of the workouts, you're supposed to do like many at a time.
Right.
And if I would rather do girly push-ups now and have good form and also be able to hold my hands closer when I do them, because then it's like more work. Or it's you're toning more muscles. If you do them like with your hands super far apart, then you're just kind of doing it for the sake of, if you can't do it any other way, like I can't do a tricep push-up with my toes on the ground. I can't. Like, so I'd rather do the girly kind and have good form.
I started doing incline push-ups because I weigh 6 pounds.
Right. Yeah.
Are
you gonna do the handstand push-up
I need some
progression?
sort of resistance, and I think I might be able. I'm like I want to get before we're like, if we ever get off quar, I want to be able to do handstand push-ups.
Damn.
Yeah,
I think I can almost do a handstand with like ab shit, and then I can do the like fucking like incline, like with my feet almost all the way up. I just can't do both at the same time yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm gonna be able to do handstand push-ups.
I can send you the program that I did in college when I weighed 123 pounds. I eventually was able to do 2 handstand push-ups, but I hated them so much that I like put in all this work to being able to do it, and I just never did them because I didn't like having blood in my head. Yeah.
God, it would be so
I could
tight
not
to
do
be
them
able
now,
to do a
though.
pull-up.
It'd be what?
It would be so tight to be able to do a pull-up, but that's like probably a year of work for me. And I would have to do a meal plan.
You would be surprised. Do you have a pull-up bar?
No, but we have, Jeff does them on the top of our shed, or not our shed, but our awning.
Okay, because if you just start by doing negatives where you kind of jump up and then slowly lower yourself down. No, don't hang. Just like jump up all the way up and then slowly lower yourself down, and just do that over and over again. It's really quick.
Yeah. Another thing I can do if I do have a pull-up bar is I can hang, which is good, like grip training and also strength training. I can hang and do leg ups, which is really good for your abs.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I got a pull-up bar, I could do that, but I'm worried that it would break the door, and then I would kill myself.
I think that you should. The way the doorway pull-up bars work is it like turns. It's instead of pulling down on the door frame, it makes it so that all of the weight is swinging into the wall. So
Pushed in. Okay.
Yeah, and it really does not do any damage to the door frame.
Okay. Because if I broke a door frame with my huge body, I would jump off a fucking bridge. I would just go lick a public toilet seat and get corona because I deserved it.
I just returned one to Amazon.
Dude, that guy who did that, I really want to think it's not funny, but I do think it's funny.
Wait, what did he do?
Who did that?
That like Instagram influencer guy.
Oh no.
So
I don't know about
like
this.
Corona challenge, and then his next post was like, "I got Corona."
That's really funny, actually. Yeah.
And the Corona challenge is licking a toilet seat.
I think he made up that challenge too.
And
I saw one woman do that on an airplane. She licked a toilet seat on an airplane.
Wait, why did you see that?
I'm not a woman I know. It was on Twitter.
Oh, you just were like on an airplane and you saw that.
No.
Like, I was fucking this woman in the airplane bathroom, and she was a freak.
Never had sex on an airplane.
Me neither.
Nobody has.
Yeah, who cares? It's the worst way to have sex.
It's still cool though.
It's not cool.
I would respect someone who did it.
I mean, I can't come unless I'm laying down. So it feels like it would be for someone else if I did that. And Jeff is afraid to touch me in public.
Right. Yeah, I've had sex in other bathrooms, just not the airplane bathroom.
Oh, I've had sex in a fuck ton of bathrooms.
Hold on one second. I'm going to go get a dumbbell and do some curls while we record.
Okay.
Are you doing them like sitting down, or he can't hear anymore?
Yeah, he doesn't have his headphones in. How's Izzy?
She's good. She still has to work, and her school isn't handling it well, and she needs immediate surgery that she might not be able to get until coronavirus is over. So, actually bad, I think. I don't know.
Wait. Oh, damn, that sucks.
What sucks?
Izzy's still working. She's still working at the restaurant?
Yeah. It's like this terrible Turkish restaurant.
Are they just doing takeout?
Yeah, it's takeout only, and she's like a server, so I guess she's just like exchanging money. All right, Glaviano, how much are you lifting right now?
Oh, just 20.
Okay.
Looking good.
Thank you.
One at a time?
What's that? Yeah, I'm doing one at a time. I'm doing the seated. So I just yeah. So you like put your elbow. It's to keep your elbow from moving. So you put your elbow like kind of inside of your thigh.
I need to get me one of them.
They're great.
Yeah. The Glaviano has that. It's one weight and you can make it weigh different things.
Right.
And I've seen them on, like, because dumbbells are so expensive, you might as well spend that to have all of the weights. Like,
right.
Our gym was sanitizing weights and letting people come one by one to rent equipment to use at home. But nice. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I just do the weightless workouts because, first of all, I'm worried about my form with weight because I'm like, I don't want to. I have a neck thing.
Yeah.
Since I went to the chiropractor, it's been better, but like it got dramatically worse from doing like overhead weight stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get bad from doing push-ups and shit like that.
I am now Benjamin's personal trainer officially.
Yeah. Also, just for the record, I don't think this has been a bad one. I think this has been a decent one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was worried because like last week was really bad, but I think this one has been pretty good.
Yeah.
So we only have 10 minutes left or 9 minutes and 40 seconds left. So I don't know if we're going to do another meeting or.
I think we should probably.
I want to keep hanging out.
Yeah, I think I might kill the episode and then we could just keep hanging out.
That works for me.
Because we're already over an hour 10. So in another 10 minutes, that will be enough, I think. But
cool.
Anyways, so Do you want me to send me?
Michael, I can't see your face anymore.
Well, I mean, who cares about
There you
my face when I got these big guns, bruh? I'm just kidding. They look like shit. They're like noodles. Yeah. But yeah, these were. I'm embarrassed by how expensive they were. They were $400, and it is like
It is expensive.
it does replace like several $1,000s worth of dumbbells, but
Yeah, dumbbells are like $50 a pop, dude. Like they're expensive, or
Yeah.
$25 a pop.
so I just
So like,
I canceled my gym membership and I got this one on a no interest payment plan for $60 a month, so it's like basically the same.
yeah, gym equipment's so expensive.
Yeah.
Like I know from knowing people that like I say they own a gym, but they own a business that is a gym business and they rent out a space.
Right.
But yeah, that shit is expensive.
Benjamin, get to work, dude.
What do you want me to do?
Another 12 curls.
Okay. Each side?
Yep.
This is just a workout podcast now. Yeah. We should get Addie back on.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
That's a great idea. She can give us quarantine fitness tips.
We should just record a group workout and publish it.
We should just do Zoom workouts on Twitch and we can live stream our workouts.
That's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I've never used Twitch except for.
I've been wearing my Star of David necklace every time I work out.
What? Why?
Right, for some reason. I don't really know.
That's funny. Take that, Hitler.
Trying to think of other things that I want to talk about. What else is happening?
Well, man, if I could just
eight to 12. 8 to 12. I did 10 on that set.
I did 12. I did 12 on each. So they're making it so there's no EPA regulations whatsoever right now, which is horrific.
What the fuck? Why?
Disaster capitalism, shock doctrine.
Right.
Like they just know everyone's fucked and panicked right now, and they're.
But what's their reasoning?
Their reasoning is that they're trying to keep industry afloat, and that like basically if they can prove that whatever decisions they made to pollute in usually unregulated ways have something to do with coronavirus, then it's fine. But there's no mechanism to measure and there's no mechanism to enforce.
God, that's awful.
So yeah, this is just like accelerationist gold.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus. So many people are gonna fucking die long term and short term. More than had to.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
I definitely value human life a lot more. Like it makes me sad when I guess like if it weren't a pandemic and I found out that some old racist lady died, I wouldn't really care.
Mhm.
But the idea of dying in a global pandemic when you can't see your family and you're in an extreme amount of pain is like in chaos is horrific to me no matter who you are.
Right.
And I just can't stop thinking about how, I mean, in a way, like I should have felt that way all along because like human life is human life. But I don't know. I definitely feel more compassion for people whose views I find disgusting, unless they're the actual people killing people.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating that it like you can't like kill it.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like I just want to like murder the virus. I can't do it. I'm so angry. I've been so fucking angry for like 2 weeks. That's what me being alone does. It just makes me angry.
I mean, if you need to, I know you're not supposed to do this, but like you can come to my sidewalk and talk to me from far away. Like it's still, as long as you don't pee in my house or go in my house, it's okay.
I have a really small bladder though. So
Well,
I have to
just pee on the
pee
house.
on your front yard.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that. I did not go over to my friend's house to drink wine, but but I asked if I could talk to her from the street, and I was like, I think that is an extremely safe, as long as we're allowed to go outside. And I think there's an argument that we shouldn't be unless we're like essential personnel. Like, I think that seeing how people are in parks, we should kind of just shut the whole thing down. But I hate that because I walk or run like fucking 3 to 6 miles every day through this. So like I would be very upset, but like for public health, the way I see people acting in parks is so stupid that I think it might be worth just being like, you can't go within 200 meters of your house like they are in Italy. Like,
I mean, if there was a sensible government, like centralized response to this, it would be that there was a like 6-week quarantine for every single U.S. resident or like any territory we have, and basically a complete travel ban, and we could just kill this shit.
yeah.
Like, but that's not going to be it. Like, people shouldn't take. I feel like I almost definitely don't have it. Like, it's possible that I have it and I'm completely asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic. Mm-hmm.
But from my experience, it seems like I don't really fucking know, but like you have to act like you have it.
Right. Yeah. Well, also you getting it means even if you're as cautious as you can be, like you could still spread it if you leave your house. Like even right. You getting it is a risk, even if like, cause you have a roommate, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's
yeah, nobody should leave. Nobody should leave their fucking house.
I mean, some people, like I have to leave, and I think it's good that I leave because like I think if you're doing something that is a necessary service, then you should leave your house.
Right.
And I think, yeah.
But that should be closely monitored by, I mean, you know, this is all like a lot of like shoulda, coulda, woulda, but like it should be closely monitored by some sort of like federal agency, whether or not anyone should be allowed to live. Like this is.
But no one should get arrested.
It's a global threat to humanity.
Yeah.
No, like I just don't think there's any amount of like seriousness that you can like take to this that's too much. I don't think you can really overplay this. Like, you know, you shouldn't freak out. You should remain as calm as you can emotionally, but like as far as it goes practically, like take every possible measurement you can, and like the people in charge aren't even saying that, and it's so obvious. Like I'm a moron and I know that.
Yeah. No, it's scary. I mean, I don't know how much, I don't know. I think that like people are trying their best to balance the complete lack of ability to provide for people who lose their incomes and their sources of food. Like, so the way I view it, it's like you should only be going to work if you going to work ultimately keeps more people in safer positions and inside more. Like, I feel like people that are like providing services for people, obviously healthcare workers, obviously grocery store workers, like obviously, like I think those people obviously need to go to work, but I mean, it's hard, but.
Stupid. God damn it. The meeting ended. Oh my god, so fucking stupid. Oh yeah, what up? Welcome back.
Hello. Were you recording still?
Yeah, fuck so. I mean, we have to do it like our little outro or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh, but I was gonna say, like, I think that takeout should stop.
Interesting. Interesting.
Only because the conditions that people, not because food is dangerous, but like people in kitchens are like close together.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about that. It seems like that you are correct.
I mean, just for the sake of the workers, but obviously the workers are like, I want the hours, I want to work. And so they'd be like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. There's no way to win. Again, it's another hard, I mean, this decision is just, when you're talking about people's livelihoods, it's the same as talking about people's life. It's really fucking hard. And it's, I don't know. So I guess I'm not a restaurant worker, so I don't necessarily feel like I deserve an opinion, but like restaurant workers I know are happy that their place closed and some are sad. Some wish that they could be working takeout, some don't.
Right.
I'm so happy my place closed.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
that. It is not safe. It is straight up not safe for takeout restaurants to be open.
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of the workers, not for the sake of the customers.
Right.
Like, it's safe to eat food.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
That's what they're saying.
It's safe to eat food. It's just not safe to be in a kitchen
right.
or a restaurant.
Right.
Do you really think it's safe to like touch a bag that was handled by someone who was like way more at risk?
Yeah, you fucking.
I mean,
you touch the
as long
bag,
as
you wash your hands.
It's way easier as the customer for you to take the proper precautions, but you are correct in that like people are not all going to take those precautions.
It is. I mean, maybe not to the. It's a sick calculation of like how many people you think it's worth infecting, but like there will be some people that are infected by restaurants being open, and that is not an essential service. Like
right.
if your claim is that some people can't cook, those people can open a can of Chef Boyardee.
You can open there's as someone who can only fry an egg and like put potatoes in the oven, like you can not cook for cheaper. Like
right.
If you can't cook potatoes, then you should have a full-time worker living with you who's cooking for you, for God's sakes. Like you can open a can of fucking beans. Like
right.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I was just saying it's like, yeah, I mean, I get why in the absence of any safety net at all, people are staying open
right.
partially for their business and partially for those workers. Like, and mostly for their own business. But like, I know that people feel sick, let's not get into the ownership class conversation, because we all know that we want society to be different, but this happened as society is. So operating under that, like people want hours, people want paychecks, people need them to survive. But also it's like, man, it just seems like
it would be better for everybody if everybody stopped though. Like this position where some people are like still having to work, some people can't, it is untenable. Like everyone who's like, it's good to be supporting local businesses right now through like what they're going.
I'm not getting takeout. Yeah.
It's not good. Those places should be closed and there should be no demand. Like nobody should delude themselves by thinking that like they're doing any good by supporting a worker by making them like go into an unsafe space. That's bullshit.
Right.
Like,
I mean, most businesses that I know of are like, we are going to shut down as soon as no one wants to work anymore. Like that's what Zotz is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But like I know at least from Mickey and Stover that like they were able to be like, I don't want to go to work anymore. And they were like, okay. And so they're just waiting until the last worker will work, which I think is probably if you're going to stay open, the most ethical way to do it.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in this sense, I'm not blaming business owners. They shouldn't be put in that position.
Yeah. There should be a safety net where they know that their workers are going to get paid for this. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then like the fact that like anyone who does make the responsible decision to keep their workers safe is penalized and
vilified socially too. It sucks. There's like so many situations where there's no good way to be.
Yeah. Because
we're forced to be barbaric to each other. It's really bad.
Yep. Well, on that note, thank you for listening. Does anyone have anything they want to plug? Any shows coming up? Anybody starting a second
If I
and
get
third?
coronavirus, I'm going to start posting nudes. So follow me at Mary Devo.
Hell yeah.
On Twitter.
Right on.
Yeah, because fuck it.
That is the weirdest way to start posting nudes I've ever. Why? I would love to hear this logic.
I mean, I'll
just
probably be too
bumped
sick,
into
but if
the
I'm afraid...
computer.
What's that? Wait, what did Benjamin say?
I said I just coughed into the computer.
I mean, I'm kidding, but like, either if society fully collapses and my parents are dead, or if I'm going to die,
right,
then I've always, you know, wanted to post my naked body on the internet, so I'm like, I'm gonna do it,
dude. Yeah, well, you should put that in your power of attorney or whatever, where it's like, if you put me on a ventilator, you have to take all my clothes off and don't give me a blanket.
No, they need to be styled right. I don't. If I'm at that point,
are you talking about what? Your pubes?
My body.
You said they need to be styled right. What?
The photos.
Oh,
the photos
okay.
that I take.
Got it.
Not my pubes.
They need to be styled right.
You need to take a diffuser to my pubes and make sure they're curly and not straight.
Right. You should get a hipster mullet pubically.
On my pubes.
On your pubes.
Absolutely.
All right, that's a better place to end.
All right.
All right.
Love y'all. Love you, Caitlin.
Bye.